Hello, YouTubers, and welcome to Level-Headed News. This is your host, Brenda. I have several episodes for you here on this beautiful morning. Here we are on the 19th of January, 2017. This edition has 6 articles in it. The URLs are listed in the description of the video for your convenience. The first one that I have here is off the dailymail.co.uk, and it says, exclusive, Florida man charged with threatening to kill President-elect Trump at his inauguration on Twitter was a close family friend of Bill and Hillary Clinton. Dominic Pupalo, age 51, is being held without bail on charges of threatening harm against a public servant. Hillary Clinton was especially close to Pupalo's sister, Sonia, and mother, also named Sonia. Pupalo once gave $20,000 to the National Committee, DailyMail.com has learned. His mother was among 92 people on American Airlines Flight 11 on September 11, 2001, when it crashed into the World Trade Center's North Tower. Pupalo posted a video on his Twitter account that said, "This is the 16th of January, 2017, review inauguration, and I will kill President Trump." He was arrested a short time later at a Miami Beach subway restaurant and admitted to officers he had posted the threatening video. The man arrested by Miami Beach police Tuesday for allegedly threatening President-elect Donald Trump online is a member of the prominent Northeast family close to Bill and Hillary Clinton. He once gave $20,000 to the Democratic National Committee, Daily Mail has learned. Suspect Dominic Pupalo Jr., age 51, sat near Hillary Clinton when she delivered the eulogy at the funeral of Pupalo's mother, Sonia, who died in one of the jets that flew into the World Trade Center on 9/11. During that eulogy on October the 6th, 2001, in Boston, the former presidential candidate referred to Dom Jr.'s latest computer wizardry. The wizard is now being held in a Miami-Dade County jail after using Twitter to threaten Trump's life. Trump is scheduled to be sworn in on Friday in Washington, D.C., as Pupalo remains incarcerated on charges of threatening to harm a public servant. Pupalo reportedly admitted to posting a video on Twitter saying, "This is the 16th of January, 2017. I will be at the review inauguration and I will kill President Trump, President-elect Trump, today." And there are some pictures in this if you care to pull it up and take a look at it. It says he was nabbed after leaving a Washington Avenue subway sandwich shop about 4 p.m. on Tuesday. Pupalo, however, may not be the average Trump hater. On various social media platforms where he posts as Jesus Christ 1701, the computer consultant claims to have testified in terror cases as an expert witness in a German federal court in Hamburg from 2003 to 2008. He also says he served in the Navy. He once posted a photo of himself holding an image of his mother in front of a wall that sports a picture of him with Colin Powell and a famous shot of Ronald Reagan. Pupalo has published a number of pictures of outgoing Secretary of State John Kerry, whom he calls friend. According to news archives, his mother Sonia Mercedes Morales Pupalo was married to the wealthy Nantucket businessman Dominic J. Pupalo Sr. She was once a professional ballet dancer and became a major philanthropist and political donor. However, Sonia was among 92 people on American Airlines Flight 11 on September the 11th, 2001, when it crashed into the World Trade Center's North Tower in New York City. She was 2 seats away from terrorist Mohammed Atta. In an amazing twist of fate, Ground Zero cleanup crews recovered the wedding ring that Sonia's husband had given her 40 years earlier. The suspect's sister, Miami resident Sonia Tita Pupalo, wrote in a book in 2010 about the ring called Sonia's Ring, 11 Ways to Heal Your Heart, Miracles Do Happen, and even ended up on Ellen DeGeneres' show to discuss it. And there's more pictures if you want to pull it up, take a look at those. And the article continues, and it says, the family is also known in political circles for its generosity toward Democratic organizations and candidates. The threat suspect, according to federal elections records, gave $20,000 to the Democratic National Committee in 1996. He also contributed to Kerry and deceased Senator Ted Kennedy in the mid-1990s. His name popped up again in contributions in 2006 when he gave $4,000 to Florida Senator Bill Nelson's campaign. His sister Sonia gave $4,000 to Hillary Clinton's various campaigns. In Miami, meanwhile, Dom Popalo was arrested 4 times for petty crimes since 2006, twice for petty theft and once for defrauding an innkeeper. Evidence he was targeted, or try that again. There's also evidence he was the target of mental health court proceedings in 2016, although the details are not public. When he was arrested in March, the judge ordered Popalo to be represented by tax-funded public defender after declaring him indignant. Property records, however, indicate Popalo sold a family's home in Dover, Massachusetts in 2013 for $4 million, and in 2004 he sold a condo in downtown Miami for $3.3 million. Lives in a rundown $60,000 one-bedroom flat in Miami Beach. Neither Popalo's sister nor dad or brother returned calls for comment. Yeah, well, we should be so poor, huh? Wow. The next one we have here is off of BizPac Review, and it says, Wacko keeps yelling Trump, then sets himself on fire in front of Trump's hotel as an act of protest. In what might be the dumbest protest of President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration, a man set himself on fire in front of Trump's International Hotel in Washington, D.C. I was trying to light myself on fire. It was an act of protest, the California man told NBC. I'm protesting the fact that we've elected somebody who's completely incapable of respecting the Constitution of the United States, the unidentified man said. A witness walking by the scene told NBC that the man yelled Trump several times before being engulfed in flames. And there are pictures in this if you want to take a look at them. He set himself on fire. As the flames ran up his back, he yelled Trump several times, then laid down on the street, witness Michael Shog said. He then walked over to police security, he continued. And there is video if you want to see this. Well, seems to me that that's cleansing the gene pool. My goodness. The next one's off of BizPac Review, and it says, Deploraball boast wall of Alpha veterans protecting event, protesters foolish to mess with them. Organizers for the Deploraball, a Trump inauguration celebration, bragged about the Alpha veterans guarding their event after protesters claimed they would try to ruin it. Organizers called potential party crashers foolish if they tried to break into the ball, reports told Washington Times. High testosterone veterans and alphas attending, a protester would be foolish to try to infiltrate the party, but we are still taking every possibility seriously, a Deploraball notice posted on Gateway Pundit declared. A security team was added to the event, and 4 people would man check in, there we go, to ensure that only the attendees enter, organizers said. We are more likely to encounter protesters when getting into and out of the press club building and at checkpoints for the security perimeter. If you encounter protesters, our strong recommendation is to not engage with them in any way. Take the high road. Do what you need to keep yourself safe, but otherwise ignore them, the notice added. A video surfaced Monday reportedly showing members of the members of the DC Anti-Fascist Coalition plotting ways to disrupt the Deploraball. If you had a pint of butyric acid, I don't care how big the building is, it is closing, one activist said, according to videos from Project Veritas. Disrupt J20, the umbrella group for the coalition, later dismissed the video and said the activists gave Project Veritas false information. The activists in the video figured out they were talking to Project Veritas people and gave him false information about what they felt was the most herring available, a false plot to stink bomb at the event called Deploraball with so-called alt-right. The group said in a statement, according to the Washington Times. The group continued, saying they had no plans to disrupt the Deploraball. The group had no intention of causing any damage to or disruption at the Deploraball, the Disrupt J20 statement said. Next one I have for you is off of PamelaGeller.com, and it says Mark Wahlberg's new Boston bombing movie, Patriots Day, criticized for portraying terrorism as evil. Why can't people admit that terrorism is evil and deserves to be criticized and condemned? Islamic sympathizers and liberals have accused Mark Wahlberg's new movie Patriots Day, which is about the 2013 Boston bombings, of being too patriotic and pro-American as opposed to pro-terrorist. Several journalists took to the internet to discuss their displeasure with the way America was positioned as a heroic good force in the fight against terrorism, calling the patriotic movie a result of Trump's America. That's the basic plot of Patriots Day, a film that's wrapped well before the election, but nonetheless crystallizes the ethos of Trump's America, the normalization of totalitarianism and anti-intellectualism, a return to the delineation of global politics into camps of right and wrong, patriot and terrorist, winners and losers, and an impulse to flatten and otherwise ignore reality in the name of feeling good and guiltless, said Anne Helen Peterson, BuzzFeed senior cultural writer. And there's video in this if you want to see that. You can pull it up and take a look at it. It says the movie details law enforcement's handling of Boston Marathon terrorist attack and how American law enforcement were able to find the terrorists responsible for putting the city of Boston on lockdown. However, Peterson expressed concern over the deception of the terrorist brothers and insisted that America is at fault for terrorism. There's a reason and a history for the radicalization of Islam, a history in which the United States has played an active part. To obscure history and context is to turn the terrorists into simplest of melodramatic villains, men without psychology, akin to programmed robots. Amy Nicholson of Slate took her hatred for the good versus evil dichotomy even further, criticizing the idea of white law enforcement officer being a hero in the fight against terrorism. This year, we cemented new genre, the Docbuster, which regales audience with brave tales of real-life modern men. Docbusters are strangely soothing bedtime stories that whisper, yes, the world is cruel and dangerous, but everything's going to be okay if a competent white man is in charge. They'll be martyred for the world's sins. Mark Wahlberg's new Boston bombing film criticized for painting America as the good guys. This is off the Truth Revolt, January 17th, 2017, and it says, liberals aren't happy with how America portrayed in the new Wahlberg film, Patriots Day, about 2013 Boston Marathon bombing. Somehow they don't see a clear delineation between America as the force of good and the world and radical Islam as the force for evil. To these critics, those lines are blurred. BuzzFeed's Anne Helen Peterson panned the film as the first movie of Trump's America, a Trumpian docbuster, if you will. Her complaint is that the bombing is turned into a superhero movie and teaches us how to be okay with Trump's new world order in the process. Next article I have for you is off of ZeroHedge.com, and it says Davos elites call for ban on physical cash in the U.S. Roughly 2 weeks ago, when writing about the cash ban in India, I stated, if you think the elites aren't watching this unfold with sheer delight, you're mistaken. Globally, a war on cash has been declared, and India has now proved that it can be done with little consequence. The fact it increases tax hauls, something every government on the planet wants, is just icing on the cake. And there is a link to that article if you want to see it. It says, fast forward to this week at the Davos Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, the Nobel Prize-winning economist Joseph Stiglitz all but said the exact same thing. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already removed 86% of his country's currency from circulation in an attempt to curb tax evasion, tackle corruption, and shut down the shadow economy. Should the U.S. follow suit? Joseph Stiglitz, Nobel Prize-winning economist, thinks so. Phasing out currency and moving towards a digital economy would, over the long term, have benefits that outweigh the cost. The Columbia University professor said on day one of the World Economic Forum's annual meeting in Davos, I believe very strongly that countries like the United States could and should move to a digital currency, he said, so that you would have to have the ability to trace this kind of corruption. There are important issues of privacy, cybersecurity, but it would certainly have big advantages. And there is a link. Says the U.S. should get rid of cash and become a digital economy, says the global laureate economist. So you can click on that to read that article. And it says, again, the war on cash is not slowing down. India effectively removed 86% of the physical cash in circulation, and no one was forced to resign. Put simply, India signaled to the global elites that you can implement a near complete ban on physical cash, and there are no real consequences as far as political aspirations. We believe that elites will be pushing for this policy to hit the U.S. If you think this is impossible, consider that Stiglitz openly called for the U.S. to ban cash in the article above. Indeed, we've uncovered a secret document outlining how the feds plan to ban physical cash and incinerate savings in the coming months. We detailed this paper and outlined 3 investment strategies you can implement right now to protect your capital from the Fed's sinister plan in our special report, Survive the Fed's War on Cash. We are making 1,000 copies available for free to the general public. To pick yours up, you can click on a link here and it will take you to that if you're interested. The final article in this episode here is off of the Free Thought Project, and it says, Dapl cops open fire on prayer circle with rubber bullets, shoot water protectors in the back. Morton County Sheriff's Department officers, together with National Guard, began firing less than lethal projectiles, pepper spray, and reportedly mace on a group of water protectors at Standing Rock during what was supposed to be a prayerful, peaceful walk to the drill pad where work is rumored to continue on the Dakota Access Pipeline. And all of this, of course, happens on the holiday honoring Martin Luther King Jr., who dedicated his life to nonviolence to spark drastic change on the issue of civil rights. Around 200 water protectors eventually grouped at the site of the drill pad, and 3 were arrested, accused of trespassing after cutting a razor wire fence and then allegedly tampering with industrial lighting. As the crowd verbally taunted militarized police supporting riot shields and military gear, the situation Monday quickly tensed, and police began spraying people with mace. Soon after, as some water protectors sang and prayed, police fired rubber bullets at a few individuals who then had to be transported away from the scene for medical assistance. Reports from people at the camps indicated police brought in vehicles with water cannons just beyond the scene. In the video below, we can also see police fire on water protectors with rubber bullets in their backs as they are running away from the tear gas. Water protectors also gathered at Highway 1806's Backwater Bridge, where a blockade of cement barriers burned out vehicles and razor wire remains in place after a confrontation in the autumn. In fact, the site has been has seen several confrontations between water protectors and police from multiple states led by the Morton County Sheriff's Department over several months, the worst occurring on the night of November the 20th, when less than lethal rounds, tear gas, and water cannons were employed to allegedly control the crowd. Hundreds were injured and dozens had to be treated for hypothermia when law enforcement sprayed protectors and or sprayed protectors with pressurized water in sub-freezing temperatures. Police claimed protectors acted violently against them and set several fires which blazed out of control, but video showed the pipeline opposition group defending against the onslaught of force, mainly hurling tear gas canisters back at the police. Monday night's showdown between National Guard reinforced law enforcement and completely peaceful water protectors at first seemed would devolve into similarly unjustified use of force. But though many were maced and a few shot with projectiles, the situation did not spiral completely out of control. Before night fell on the camps near Cannonball, North Dakota, activists filmed and photographed a surface-to-air missile system brought by law enforcement to the area near pipeline opposition camps, allegedly in place to shoot down any drones flown above the scene. Despite evacuation and emergency orders in place in the area, water protectors remain encamped near the banks of the Missouri River in protest against completion of the Dakota Access Pipeline. A fracture also occurred after Standing Rock Sioux Tribe Chairman Dave Archibald II asked those unprepared to endure the harsh winter on the open plains to evacuate the camps. Additionally, Aseti Saquin, now the primary and largest camp, lies in the river's floodplain and as snow thaws will eventually be submerged. Water protectors have vowed to remain at the location until construction of the Dakota Access is permanently halted, but considering the incoming administration of President-elect Donald Trump has openly courted big oil, it appears unlikely the effort will see its dream of protecting the drilling water source of some of its 18 million people and the Standing Rock Sioux tribe will come to fruition. Law enforcement did not respond to multiple requests for comment on the events of Monday night. And there's video in this if you care to pull that up and take a look at it. I'll have more episodes to follow. If you like what we're doing here, give it a thumbs up, share it on your social media so everybody gets to hear the news. Don't forget to subscribe and click that little bell next to the subscription button and check that box, and you'll get email messages every time I put a show up, and that way you stay informed. See you on the next one.